At the Old Haunted House, written by Helen Ketterman, illustrated by Nate Ragg. At the Old Haunted House. At the old haunted house, in a room with no sun, lived a warty green witch and her wee witchy wand. And they both practiced spells in the room with no sun. "Spell!" cried the witch. "Poof!" cried the one. At the old haunted house, where a cold draft blew, lived a big mom monster and her wee monsters too. And they whirred and they stirred while the cold draft blew. "Stir!" called the ma. "We stir!" called the two. By the old haunted house, in the dead hollow tree, lived a scrawny black cat and her wee kittens three. And they scratched and they growled in the dead hollow tree. "Scratch!" cried the mother. "Meow!" cried the three. At the old haunted house with the squeaky old floor lived the green paw goblin and his wee goblins four. And they spread lots of dust on the squeaky old floor. "Dust!" called the pie. "We dust!" said the four. At the old haunted house where scary things jive lived the ma werewolf and her wee wolvies five. And they yowled and they howled where scary things jive. "Howl!" called the ma. "Ow!" wailed the five. In the old haunted house, in a vault made of bricks, lived a papa vampire and his little vamp six. And they snarled and they shrieked in the vault made of bricks. "Show things!" Papa cried. "Hiss!" went the six. At the old haunted house, teaching a lesson, was a hairy mom bat and her bitty bat seven. And they dipped and they dove in their dip diving lesson. "Dip dive!" called the mom. "Flip flap!" went the seven. By the old haunted house near the graveyard gate lived a spooky dad ghost and his wee ghosties eight. And they booed and they floated through the graveyard gate. "Haunt!" cried the dad. "Boo!" cried the eight. At the old haunted house, half covered with vines, lived a mommy and her wee mommies nine. And they stirred and they mixed in the house with the vines. "Mix!" called the mommy. "We mix!" called the nine. At the old haunted house in the dusty old den lived a fat ma spider and her wee spiders 10. And they spun sticky webs in the dusty old den. "Spin!" called the ma. "Weave ho!" said the 10. At the old haunted house, the front door creaked. The ghost shrieked, "Eek!" "Trick or treat!" yelled the children. "Come in!" called mommy. The monsters made stew. The mommies made cake. The witches zapped brew. The creatures all grinned as they stuck up the band, and the spiders all swung on sticky web strands. The ghosties floated as the music played, black cats scratched, and werewolves bayed. The vampire band played music all night, and they all had fun at the Halloween fright. The end.